Hello and welcome to Game Jam Game Review, where we are playing small Game Jam games who are looking for somebody to play them. Today we're looking at the Narrowscope 2024 Game Jam with 5 entries, and we're playing The Last VHS Store by the Pixel Puncher. It is an interactive fiction game, and that was something I was interested in at the moment. It was a sword and sorcery fantasy uh, prompt that they were given with the adventure begins, and the fact that the pixel puncher chose to interpret the prompt through the eyes of the last VHS store was something that I found interesting. It was 1 hour and 58 minutes before the deadline, so close to the deadline. So like quite some time still to the deadline. So let's see how they present their game. Okay, this game is has the default landing page. Surprised that there is no header for hey, this game is part of the Narrowscope 2024 Game Jam. Here's a link to that Game Jam. I'm surprised that that's missing. It's probably because this Game Jam is recently closed, so maybe you already know this, but the Game Jam submission, most of the time you cannot edit your submission after submitting your game, but you can still edit the landing page. So you can add some more text, change the default colors or any such thing uh, tomorrow morning or in the coming weeks to make it more attractive to interest people in playing your game. So let's start. Okay, first things first that I notice is that there's no music or any other sound so far. Which like it is a single play person project for Game Jam, so it's not going to be harsh on it. But that is something that really improves the experience for somebody playing an interactive experience. Other than regular fiction, you have tight control over what a person is reading at this point. So being able to have some sort of music that fits the tone for the section of the text that you're currently working on is one of the more powerful things that interactive fiction has, and that's a tool that if you want is a powerful tool that you can look into for improving the engagement that people have. Yeah, okay. Also, gray on white, this light gray, at least to me, is a bit annoying, difficult to read. It's good that there is a dark mode, which is a lot more comfortable to read for me. That might be something to think about. Uh, uh, why you choose what you choose. Okay, let's begin. The Last VHS Store by Tyler Poole. It was late. You have been driving for a while. It's been a long time since you returned to your hometown. Everything seemed familiar, yet also strange and different at the same time. The darkness casts a veil of uncertainty, making you question the reality of what you are seeing. You think to yourself, it's because it you think to yourself, it's because it's out, dark out. I'm sure this will feel different in the morning. You hoped it will feel different in the morning. First off, maybe a bit of editor talk. I uh, don't like this sentence being a standalone sentence ending with a period. You read the sentence and like, oh, I'm missing something. Did I like what? Why you think to yourself? That's almost an incomplete sentence as it is brings information. You are trying to say that the rest of the sentence is a thought that the character that I'm inhabiting is having inside his mind. I think that is a bit clunky way that's now presented, and that's one thing I would work on. You see a neon sign in the distance. Its flickering light cutting through the darkness. It's a beacon, drawing you closer. That's your destination. See, like, that's your destination. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, that was, I was wondering. You like, you see a neon sign in the distance. That's more usual for you well, you had been is past tense and this you see is present tense. Like especially in interactive fictions where you as the uh, reader player are actively making choices, it makes sense that you do it in the present tense. Like you really feel, oh, in the moment, the reality of the future of the characters don't exist yet. Like what button I press will make a difference. So those differences means that I can understand it wanting to rewrite in a first person current tense. But this opening section, it was, or sorry, second person first current tense because it's interactive fiction. But this opening section was in past tense, so that makes it a bit confusing to read and will like stumble up when you're reading, even if like somebody doesn't have the words to express why they find the reading confusing or such. Most this is one of those things that will cause a lot of confusion in your reader. You decide to drive toward the sign, turn around and go home. I mean, I kind of do want to see like what is going to happen if you turn around and go home. Turn around and go home, you say out loud. This is stupid. Okay. My first thought is, what are you trying to say? My second thought is, you thought that this would make the text bold. This like, yeah, and a bit of typo. Well, something to think that did not work, unfortunately. I shouldn't even be here. There's no way they should still have it. Maybe. Ooh. Motivation. You feel weird and uncomfortable. You feel like this is important, something you need to do. No, I'm gonna go home to see if I get an ending. You decide you can't handle this right now and drive back to your house. Blurry eyed and exhausted from the journey, you hope some rest will help. And I guess this is an ending. Um, Even for a joke ending, I would suggest making it clear that it is an ending. Um, Especially if you want me to motivate. Like I would suggest that it gives some context. You can just say ending, but maybe like describing what kind of ending it is a way you as an author can uh, frame how I'm supposed to think about it. Because right now I have some questions about. Okay, so this character that we're reading about, why does he want to do what he wants to do? Does he really want to? He wants to find the tape. Why does he want to find the tape? Is he really? Uh, this is important, and like I have questions. But are these questions of something that is wrong? Like the artwork, especially the thumbnail, gave me an expectation of a slight horror tint. So is this something that he doesn't should not should want to avoid, but it somehow feels compelled to find this VHS tape? If that's the way I'm leaning now, and if that's the way you want me to think, then it's fine. But maybe using the describing this is the bad end, or this is the indecisive end, or this is the like uh, this is the smart ending, or something like that. You can really frame how the text up to far how this ending should be thought of. But you can also leave it as a mystery for later. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's drive towards the sign. Drive towards the sign. Okay, yeah, this is a bit. This was what happened last time. This word, this thing that you choose, is plopped inside the text that's written around it. So that's why there was this dot missing. Also last time. It's like right now, because drive towards the sign is not grammatically correct with the rest of the text, it reads really clunky. So that's something really to work on for the next time. You pull up to the large parking lot. You're amazed that the store is still here. The warm glow of the open sign in the windows fills you with memories of coming here late at night as a kid. You felt like you were getting away with something by staying up past your bedtime. Like, how young do you have to be that the VHS store is still open after your bedtime. And also, like, why would you want to go to a VHS store? Just interesting. Let's read the sign. The sign reads the last VHS shop. Let's go inside. As you enter, the bells hanging on the other side of the door bang against the glass, alerting the people in the store of your presence. A clerk looks up from the register in your direction, makes eye contact, and looks back down. Let's examine the room. You are at the entrance of the store. There is the counter in the center with a clerk. There are 3 connecting rooms off of this one, north, east, and west. Generally, I would suggest avoiding trying to emulate the the movement controls of text-based adventure and explorer, such like that. I would try to lean more towards the elements of interactive fiction that is not supplanted by visual mediums that we have now. Like back in the day, text-based adventures were the thing, talking about moving from the north room to the east room, because there were no computation ability to render a room, and right now we do have it. So you don't get this people who are interested in interactive fiction with when they have a room, like room movement in your interactive fiction requires like I'm trying to find the words to what I want to say. This system is not it's old. It's an old system, and it in retrospect it is quite clunky. And back in the day, it was accepted that it was a clunky system because there was no alternative. But currently, you can relatively easy make a small map to the side where you can click on the different doors, different rooms. Like people can make that easy. It is not like trivial. It is a skill to develop to be able to do that. But from a reader or player's perspective, there are many games who will do that. So if you want to make interactive fiction, I would suggest looking into the strength of interactive fiction, the more like experiential side of the written word, which you cannot easily capture in visual and audio experiences. So I would not say the go to the north room, go to the east room, go to the west room. Like what options what actions can I do as character? Really try to use the try to establish also like some motivation and character in the choices you can make, because these are also very generic choices. Like like say right now I also like there are 3 connecting rooms. I have no way to go off. Instead of making me walk around to be able to see what is in the rooms, spend a bit more time before in the describing which rooms there are, and then say, oh, I want to go to this room because of this. Like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, so that's why you go to the bathroom. Or saying like, oh, I feel I don't feel ready yet to face the clerk, so let me wander around first. Like these options are more interesting in interactive fiction than these generic movement options. I do not get any character out of these choices because these options are part of the text that you are telling me. Even the options I do not take are part of the story. Let's go to the north room. You're in the north room. There are 3 doorways labeled: adults, kids, the back room, go back. Okay, yeah. So now we're getting back in the strength of your like needing something to visualize. I do not have any way of visualizing this room except of a blank room with doors, because I have no idea what's inside this room. Is it a hallway? A hallway is generally quite blank, so you don't have to describe it much. But you described it as a room, so I did not expect this to be a room. Um, Further, I'm a bit confused about this. Um, Maybe like what I say, like as I'm saying what I'm saying, I hear to myself, hey, like you describe, do more, do more, do more, and this is a game jam. Um, One way that you can look at it is that you've spent a lot of time on giving many options. Like I've entered this room and there are like 3 other rooms, so that those are 4 rooms that need to be described, need to be have things done. And if you don't have the time to do that, which this look reads to me as, oh, run out of time of having a more than functional text, then this is a time budgeting issue when it comes to game jams, because game jams are like, a part is making a video game, but the other part is having like a time limit, having the something that forces you to finish, but also like budget your time. How long can you spend on something? How long are you allowed to have something to take? Now let's get back to the story. Let's see if I'm allowed to go to the back room. I need a key. You are in the north room. There are 3 doorways labeled. I'm an adult. The adult room has curtain in front. You feel embarrassed and know that the movies you are searching for isn't here. Like, okay, on one end you're building mystery about what is the movie that you're looking for, and maybe there will be a reveal. Or more clearly, I'm now expecting that there's a reveal to why I, the reader, do not know what the movie is that is the character is looking for, whilst the character, of course, themselves does know what movie they are looking for. Let's go back. Probably also not in the kids. The kids' room has a bunch of animal features. Searching through the racks, you find some familiar cartoons, but this isn't the right. But this isn't the right movie. Uh, this referring to the cartoons? Yeah. Generally, cartoons are not movies. You would talk about animated movies, but okay. You are in the north room. There are 3 doorways labeled. Let's go back. Let's talk to the clerk. Let's say if in conversation I can finally learn something about my character. Can I help you? Yes. I'm looking for something. Go on. I'm looking for a movie. Congratulations. This is the place. You sigh. I'm a bit of an asshole, apparently. I'm looking for a movie called... You panic. You forgot what the movie is called. This was the whole point of coming here. Yes. It's a missing space. I need to remember the title. Maybe I could describe it to you? Sure. You try to think back to when you last watched this movie. You're about 8 years old at the time. The details are fuzzy, but it featured some sort of creature. It had a creature in it. Thinking to yourself, why can't you remember the name? The movie is so important. Was it an animal or mythical? Oh, very useful clerk, or maybe he is trained to always answer questions. Tried it. Oh, okay, that was surprising, because so far all the times I have selected something, it popped in between, and this time it did not pop into between. And that feels like we're like right now I experience it as, oh, something is wrong. So that's something to either fix or like make this consistency is important. Even if this was intended, then it feels like an inconsistency. Yeah, that sounds right. You are at the entrance of the store. Oh, very nice. I now need to find where the documentary section could be. I went to the north. Let's go to the east. Sci-fi horror. Let's go back. Let's go to the west. Documentaries. You enter the room. There are shelves filled with various documentaries on various subjects. 2 shelves catch your eyes. Let's examine animal documentary shelf. There on the shelf is a bright red VHS tape. The box reads, Mysteries of the Mountains. Could this be it? Join intrepid explorer Amazing Jones as they journey to the tallest glacier on Earth. Be prepared for thrills as you take to as you take to the rough seas on a rusty fishing boat, hauling its last herring. Be amazed at the goat tightrope walk across the canyon, and finally enjoy the breathtaking views from the top of the glacier. After reading the back, you don't think this is it. I do not think most back of the box blurbs talk about what you will do as you do something. It is you are being taken, like as like be prepared for thrills as Jones takes you to the rough seas on a rusty fishing boat. I wonder if they could be sued for false advertising if they don't explain that it is something like that. Let's see if talking to the clerk has any effect. Yeah, okay. So this is unfortunate. Like, um, uh, getting into a loop really removes, like, destroys verisimilitude. Like, oh yeah, I'm in a game. Oh, like now I have to think, what does the game designer want me to do? And the game designer in this sense wants me to do to explore all the shelves. Which at this point I'm like, oh, really? Like I have no clues to go onto. Like, okay, maybe it was mythical. So let's go try to see if we can find something mythical. Like, where does he think that mythical will do? Try the fantasy section. So that was on the east side. Action and fantasy. This room is full of action movies. There's another doorway here that says fantasy. I mean, it might be realistic for. Okay, on one hand, I want to say, hey, it might be realistic for a room to have, like, oh, in this room there are X and Y, and then the first room only has X, and then the next room has Y. But what does this narratively add that there is these multiple rooms in between? I could think of reasons why, like that there needs to be more, the idea that there's more distance or that fantasy is neglected, but then use uh then use the descriptions to show that it is like less useful, that it is smaller, that it is not looked after, that the shelves are not fully stocked. If you, for example, want to make things not visible, or if it's difficult to find, then will, like, the description from, like, hey, you need, like, oh yeah, like the talking to the clerk, you're said from, hey, I cannot find the fantasy, that you have to go back and, like, oh no, it is like there and there, and then you can find it hidden away, such that it is like a complicated movement. If you want, for example, to if it makes sense that it is some distance to walk so that you can easily be caught by a very fast enemy. Spitballing about what could happen. So let's read further. You remember something important here. This feels right. Suddenly you remember coming to the store with your dad. He always enjoyed watching these cheesy fantasy movies with you. You spot a green VHS box labeled Swors. I've never heard of the word sorcery, and I'm a bit annoyed that I've never heard of the word sorcery because I find it really funny. Okay. This has to be it. But how can you be sure? If only there was a way to preview the tape. Let's pick up the green VHS tape. But the VHS tape in the thumbnail was red. What could this mean? You are in the east room. Okay, so, like, at least we don't have to go back. Let's go back. Let's talk to the clerk. Yes, you can help me. No. Oh, come on, I found a movie. I expect... Okay, I expected the clerk to be able to tell me, like, oh, my character said, I wonder if this is possible. So I was thinking I can go to the clerk and ask the clerk, hey, is this possible? And that the clerk would tell me, yes, but you need, like, oh no, but if you really want, and I insist, I can give you the key to the TV in the lunch office backstage. But now I have to need to find a place, like, so where we can watch stuff. And at this point I am a bit lost. I have no idea where to go. So now I feel like I am forced now to um, search through every possible option, exhaust everything until we have found the one place where I can select something. The room is full of strange customers. Oh wait, what? Okay, at no point I feel like have been described as has this room been described as having people in it outside of the clerk. So I imagine in my head an almost deserted. It is uh, desolated. It is empty. It has been almost forgotten, like the last VHS shop. So I was like being primed for a more horror or nostalgic story that it would be empty. But now there's a bustling room, so that's like a quite a wrong or like something went wrong in what expectations were set up for me. The room is full of strange customers. They seem not quite human. You'd better check another room. Okay, that's quite strange. Okay, maybe. But okay, even so, I did not imagine it to be hidden. Like, it's a room you can see and you can look into. So, like, this comes kind of out of left field. Let's see if it means anything soon. The room is dark and a bit unsettling. You hear something scratching in the darkness. Let's go in. You barely make out some sort of large shadow creature. The shadow monster sucks you into its mouth with its terrible tentacles. You hope you are dreaming. Okay, yeah. Why I'm a bit surprised was this feels like a joke. This is a joke ending. But the rest of the text so far really did not support the idea that this was quite like serious still in the story. The story took itself at least serious. So this is really like tone wise not what was promised in the beginning to me. So I feel a bit like, oh, that no, no, meh. Um, so maybe I would not have gone for that option. So let's restart. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's turn around and go home, but do go back to the store. Yeah, I did not expect many things to be different. Um, I had a small interruption, and now I want to finish this and see if I can get a, if not good ending, a satisfying, like a true ending. The true ending was the word I'm looking for. Looking back onto that uh, thing, the monster ending at the end, there's a way that it could work. The reason why I think it did not really work does not really work for me is because since the sci-fi section uh, uh, had weird people who like sci-fi with weird customs and the fantasy and such, so like oh, that was a joke, and that put me in mind, oh, so we're dealing with jokes. And then the next one, oh, the horror section had a horror monster, ooh, funny joke, and then you can die. So that's part was what makes it felt not serious. But if in the horror section, like, you can still just have this like idea that this last VHS store is a bit of a horror um, game, horror tint story. So I was, uh, but because it was followed by this other joke about how sci-fi is about weird people with weird customs, like that made it place like that was more out of place than that there's a horrific creature in the horror section. Also, the fact that the horror creature was really, really, really generic. It is, there's a creature, it was a scary creature, and then you died. Like, like that, there was no character in that. There was no motivation in that. There was no thought, a pattern to understand and to feel, to empathize with. So that's why it was made a joke. Like, not the subject matter, but more like the content and the context it was played in made me think it a lot less serious. Let's see. Let's see if we can get back to about where we were uh, last time. Let's talk to the clerk. Can I help you? No. Screw you. I know where I'm going. I had hoped it would be a funny uh, reaction, but there was no real reaction. Let's go to fantasy. Go to the fantasy room. Pick up the green VHS. But how can you be sure? Yeah, okay, still looking for like the horror had the horror monster. Let's run away. Okay, yeah, you can run away. Let's go to the west room. We have a comedy. Strangely enough, there's a stage here with a microphone. Perhaps to do an open mic night. There are rows of tapes, but not what you are looking for. Indeed. Mystery. Hmm. The room is dark. You fumble around searching for a light strip. Your hand touches a hook on the wall. Get mysterious item from hook. You struggle a bit and pull out a key. You are in the west room. There are 3 doorways labeled. Let's go to the north room. Let's go to the back room. The back room is currently locked if you had a key. Fortunately, you have one on you. You try it and the lock clicks. The back room door opens and inside you find a large TV and a VHS player. You pop in the Schwarzery VHS and the room starts buzzing around you. Something is happening to the TV. You hear the voice and then a man dressed all in blue robes comes out of the TV. It has been waiting for you, son. Well, like, first thing that notices is that you spell TV different either each time. Second thing, like, I have to be honest, this, like, it is an ending. So this is the ending. And this was the one ending that I was left, I felt like. And it is a bit rubbish because it did not do anything what the beginning of the story promised me. There were those questions of, hey, why am I doing this? What is going on? What is my motivation? What is happening? Why am I doing this? Why does my character feel that it is wrong? Like, even if you don't reject it, like, I'm sure this will feel different in the morning. You hope it would feel different in the morning. Like there was this beginning was quite strong and the ending did not pay it off in any way. Um, but still, it's like, okay, so that's a bit disappointing. Uh, but overall, like, it was not like, it was definitely not the worst thing. Um, there are sometimes a bit like, it is a lot of repetition of text, but that's not too bad with interactive storytelling. Like, if you and I have read and heard a lot worse. So all I want to say is, like, continue working on this. Like, you have like, you're clearly passionate and want to show things, and you can work on that and you can improve on those things, but there are clear things there where you can focus on for your improvements, and I hope you will do, and I hope you will write a lot of many more good things in the future. And with that, thank you for watching, and see you next time.